Hello everyone and welcome back to LewisNews, and in today's video we have got some breaking news for you. Apparently Sony wants Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to come back for the next installment in the MCU Spider-Man franchise, namely MCU Spider-Man 4. So where does this leave us? How is this even happened in the first place? What do they want them for? Does this mean that MCU Spider-Man 4 is going to be a multiverse movie? All these questions, I'm going to try and speculate and answer as many as I can in this video. But before we do get into that, I want to let you guys know that this channel is your #1 YouTube channel for Spider-Man news. We cover everything from the games, the movies, and the shows. So make sure you are subscribed, because this year is a massive year for the webhead. With Kraven the Hunter, Venom 3, Madam Web, everything coming out this year. We're going to have a great year for Spider-Man. But with that being said, let's get straight into this. So, this comes in from Daniel RPK. Now, Daniel RPK is a reliable leaker in the community, and we've covered him many times on this channel before about different leaks and different rumors that have come from his way. And in this rumor, and by the way, I want to say, just take it with a pinch of salt, because once again, this may not end up being true, but obviously there is still a chance. It is coming from a reliable leaker, one of the more reliable leakers in the community, so I'd say it has a decent chance of being true. But essentially, this is what he said. Tom Holland and Kevin Feige reportedly want Spider-Man 4 to be a more grounded story, while Sony would like to bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back. Now, that is the report. That is what we are hearing at this moment in time from Daniel RPK. But what does this mean for Spider-Man 4 if this ends up being true? Now, first of all, I want to say, I believe this. And the reason why I believe this is because I have seen how Sony Pictures have ruined franchises before. And the reason they ruin franchises is because they get way too in over their heads. They start thinking that the fans want one thing when realistically they want another, and Sony end up ruining franchises. Namely, this has happened before with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man franchise. Obviously, Avi Arad and the like said the fans want Venom. And yes, the box office was good for Spider-Man 3, but the critical reception was nowhere on the level that Spider-Man 1 and 2 were from the fans and the critics alike, because obviously Sam Raimi didn't want Venom in the movie. He wanted Sandman, he wanted Lizard, he potentially even at some point wanted Vulture as well. So all these other characters that he wanted to develop and push for in this movie never came to fruition, because he had to put Venom in there, which obviously took up a massive chunk of the story. The same happened with the Amazing Spider-Man franchise. We know the Amazing Spider-Man 1 already had a massive studio mandate over the movie, but then the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Sony Pictures did come in and tried to set up and force a Sinister Six narrative, and also tried to build up a Spider-Man cinematic universe with one movie setting up multiple spin-off movies, including multiple sequels to Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well. And it kind of just cluttered the movie up, kind of made it, you know, unfocused. It wasn't a movie in itself, it was a jumping on point, and it was a launch pad for a cinematic universe. And that's not how to build a cinematic universe. As you know, the MCU is the blueprint, and they did it first, and they did it right. But either way, Sony have a track record of messing things up when it comes to movies, when it comes to franchises, and especially when it comes to Spider-Man. So it does not surprise me, given the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, that Sony have seen the $2 billion that movie has made and have gone, that's because of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And partly, yes, it is. Like, one of the reasons why Spider-Man No Way Home was so successful was the anticipation of it being a celebration of Spider-Man movies. We knew, like, deep down that Tobey and Andrew were going to be in this movie, as much as they were trying to deny it, which is part of the reason why the movie was so successful. But that doesn't mean that they should try and recreate that for MCU Spider-Man 4. And this is why I believe it, because I do believe Sony will look at the numbers and will look at the numbers only. They won't be looking at what the fans are saying, what the fans are wanting, and then definitely and certainly going to try and ignore, to their heart's content, Kevin Feige and Tom Holland and what they're saying about what they should do with MCU Spider-Man 4, and they're going to try and bring as many of fan favorite characters back as possible for the revenue. And obviously, I guess to some extent it does make sense. Sony Pictures is a company. The higher the revenue, obviously the better the turnover, the better the profits. It's just simple business. It makes sense. And they've looked at what made MCU Spider-Man work in the past and have gone, we need to replicate that success. But for the character, for the story, and for critical reception, that is not the way to take this franchise forward. And let's be realistic, MCU Spider-Man 4 is not going to get anywhere near the numbers that No Way Home did, so how do you replicate those numbers that No Way Home ended up pulling in? Well, the thing is, you start fresh again. No one expected Spider-Man Homecoming to be a $2 billion movie. It was $700 million at best. It didn't even beat Spider-Man 3. Even with inflation, it didn't beat Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man Far From Home was a $1 billion movie. That was a step up in the right direction. Obviously, Endgame helped push it along, but still, it was a step up from Homecoming. And then, obviously, the big finale, Spider-Man No Way Home, built everything together, accumulated all the Spider-Men, and it's a $2 billion movie. They need to do the same sort of trajectory with this new trilogy. They need to treat this new trilogy like it's a brand new start for the character, because this movie will not make $2 billion. However, if they play their cards right, and if they play the story right, and they get the fans invested, they get the critics invested, easily MCU Spider-Man 6 will be a $2 billion movie. It is completely and entirely possible that that movie could be as successful as No Way Home financially if they play the story right, and if they play the characters right, and if they play their cards right. But Sony are going to look at wanting immediate success, and they're going to think that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man are the answer to that success because of how the fans responded to their appearances in Spider-Man No Way Home, when that is definitely not the case, because as we do know, the only reason why No Way Home was so successful was because it was the celebration of Spider-Man movies. You can't do that twice, and plus, it will kill the novelty. So, don't do it. Spider-Man 4 doesn't need to be a massive multiversal Tobey and Andrew thriller. All it needs to be is what Kevin Feige and what Tom Holland want, which is a grounded story for the character. And then we build up to MCU Spider-Man 6, and possibly it could be this massive event, and it makes a load of money, and Sony are happy. But either way, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think about this in this slightly longer news video today? It's a very interesting debate, very interesting topic. Is Daniel RPK right? Do you think Sony do want Tobey and Andrew back in MCU Spider-Man 4? I want to hear all of your thoughts. And do you agree with Tom Holland and Kevin Feige? And do you want it to be a grounded story? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Take care, and peace.